The average Nigerian prayer point and cultural aspiration has become the pursuit of unmerited favor, the desire to reap what we have not sown, build wealth without creating corresponding value, and receive without any intention to give back. While framed as a spiritual blessing, this mindset has quietly become one of the primary cultural drivers of corruption, eroding our national work ethic and blurring our collective ethical lines. When an individual receives an opportunity without the required competence, it is often celebrated in religious gatherings as unmerited favor. Yet, the real world outcome is predictable: substandard delivery, systemic failure, squandered public resources, and a complete breakdown of public trust. What is hailed as a personal testimony on Sunday or Friday becomes a public calamity by Monday. Religious institutions hold unparalleled influence over the Nigerian psyche. However, by continually promoting shortcuts to success and elevating unmerited favor above diligence, faith leaders have unwittingly incentivized the circumvention of process. We need to build a functional society where religious houses shift their messaging from sanctifying incompetence to preaching value creation and reframing favor as when faith meets preparation. The focus should return to merited favor, where grace meets diligence, integrity, and exceptional skill, rather than replacing them. A nation cannot pray its way out of developmental stagnation while actively sabotaging meritocracy. Shifting this culture requires an intentional commitment at both the personal and structural levels. As individuals, we must learn to reject unearned advantages and turn down opportunities for which we are genuinely unqualified, recognizing that accepting them directly deprives someone who earned them and harms the wider community. Institutions must prioritize merit-based systems, and collectively, we need to bring back social accountability and stop celebrating unexplained wealth or sudden success that lacks a clear, legitimate path of value creation. Nigeria's progress relies on replacing the pursuit of unmerited gain with an unyielding commitment to competence, accountability, and hard work. Real growth is not found in reaping where we did not sow, but in cultivating a system where everyone's honest labor can bear fruit.
I was in Zumah. Are you telling me now
Yeah.
that if I apply for a job that I'm not qualified for and I'm accepted, I should reject the offer?
Your God is not working over, right?
Oh, that is the Lord's doing, and it's marvelous in our sight. Come on now. But Zumah, I think there's somebody you're talking to.
No. I mean, no one comes to mind, but
Yes,
I'm just saying.
But come to think of it, in our system, there's a line between unmerited favor, indeed, that you did not circumvent the process.
Yeah.
From corruption, where you induced somebody, or because you had a godfather, godmother, god uncle, and all of that, I think that's where the problem is. Okay. So I wish you drew the line very clearly so we can know which is which. Yes. Because unmerited favor is a euphemism sometimes for corruption. You have twisted the process and now you're testifying. I think
in Christian theology, unmerited favor really is not asking for, is not rewarding incompetence.
Exactly.
That is not what Christian theology is about. It is not, and I've written it somewhere here, it is not excusing corruption.
Mm-hmm.
It is not accumulating or acquiring wealth without value creation.
Yeah.
When you hear grace, it is different from entitlement and corruption in Christian theology. So when people say, Lord, I want grace, give me grace to be able to do, you already have a basic takeoff point. You already have something going on for you. And you're saying, God, I don't have anybody in that place. But Lord, with you being a light unto my path and a lamp unto my feet, I can get there. You know, you understand? So the thing is, we cannot ask people.
But you draw the
We
line.
cannot ask people to stop asking for favor, right?
Yeah.
But what we need to do is to ask them to stop confusing favor for entitlement.
That's the word.
And the national conversation we should be having right now is it's about building institutions, right? Where favor cannot routinely displace competence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And accountability. That is where the question is. So if you're giving me a job, am I competent to do it? Or is because I'm the cousin of your uncle who is married to your sister's brother and something?
Yeah.
You know, it's not just that, because culturally that's what we do. But am I competent? Would I give account of what I've done?
As a beneficiary of
Unmerited
unmerited favor. I believe that faith without works is void, and that's what we teach as Christians. I believe I've not actually experienced this in the church, to be honest. And you know that I pick up on any preacher that is saying of it. I've not personally experienced where it's been abused. What I was interpreting was perhaps corruption, as Auntie Munge was.
Yeah.
That's what I'm. See, when I went to the UK to study medicine, when I finished, I decided I didn't want to do sciences anymore. I went into banking, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I did the interview and I got the job. I knew that the pay grade was way beyond me. I knew that I didn't really have the skills yet to do it. But my interviewer said, I think you can do it. I gave my testimony, unmerited favor. And it was.
Yeah.
And that is what I understand as unmerited favor. When I came to Lagos 14 years ago, I had not lived in Lagos as an adult. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any connections. I didn't know I didn't know how things would be. Things are good today. It's unmerited favor. I didn't actually have all those connections and all those things I would. That's what I understand as unmerited favor. What I actually believe happens in our society, the algorithms promote incompetence. Our society is, I think, what does that unmerited favor as opposed to the church.
I think as a Christian, you cannot divorce your faith from grace.
That's
okay. The whole concept of grace is that Jesus came and died for our sins while we're as people who didn't merit it. But what we've seen, Ronke said she's not seen abuse, but I've seen it everywhere in terms of our churches and pastors abusing that grace. I saw a video recently of a pastor giving a testimony of how he got a US visa without applying.
That's a lie.
But
he's selling it.
But that's where the problem is. He's a pastor.
Spiritually.
He has influence. He's giving a testimony. All right, and he tells people that it's possible for you to get a US visa without applying by just going and escorting somebody to the American embassy, and then the visa officer grab you and say, I want
through the
you.
restroom door and enter Germany.
Another one, yeah.
That's kids.
So, but these are people
Yes.
who have a lot of influence,
right.
okay? And they speak to thousands, if not millions of people. And there are people in that audience who were clapping that day, who after that leave and go and believe that they can just escort somebody to the whatever, and then they will get a visa. That people will believe in miracle money. That all they just need to do is just go to meet a prophet, and then a declaration, and then hundreds of millions of naira goes into their account. That's the abuse of the whole merited favor thing.
Unmerited.
And we have to do better. I like and I like to commend my pastor, Pastor Zumah Yahaya, because I remember many years ago, over 20 years ago, he was teaching entrepreneurial class, 7 a.m. in church. Yeah. And he wrote a book there, Start With What You Have. Mm-hmm. And the idea was that you cannot go to the marketplace with nothing. Mm-hmm. Okay, even before you can harvest, you have to plant a seed. You know,
Substance.
we're talking about people who have nothing.
Mm.
They've not invested in education. They've not invested in any business. They've not invested in cultivating any idea. They just believe that by showing up and because on the mandate of a
Because
prophet,
the grace is upon them.
they have favor. And we have to disabuse
Zuma, the
that.
person
We
you
have
are
to say
talking to
that
is
is not,
finally where
that is not right. And when we see pastors, okay, or clergy who say those kind of things, we need to call them out.